Welcome to this lecture series in Chemical Reaction Engineering 1. So, we'll start with the new topic today, that is chapter number 11 from our textbook by Octave Levensville. So, in this we are going to study the basics of non-ideal flow, the residence time distribution, that is RTD, state of aggregation of the flowing systems, concept of microfluid and macrofluid, earliness of mixing, role of RTD, state of aggregation and earliness of mixing in determining reactor behavior. E, that we call exit age, so exit age distribution of the fluid. Experimental methods for finding E, that is exit age, and these methods includes the pulse experiment and the step experiment. Then we'll see the relationship between F and E curves, and finally the conversion in non-ideal flow reactors, the Dirac delta function, and problems based on the concept studied in this chapter. So far we have studied ideal reactors, ideal reactor models, and there we had certain assumptions. Okay, like in mixed flow reactor there is uniform mixing at any place within the reactor throughout, at any location the concentration is same, and same is the exit concentration. So perfect mix conditions we are assuming there. Then plug flow reactor, the flow, there is no intermixing of the layers, and each section this is moving slowly along the plug flow reactor, along the length of the reactor as a separate entity. So at any section the conversion is uniform. So now we will see the non-idealities. Then in flow reactor, that is mixed flow reactor and plug flow reactor, we have assumed the concept of tau, which we have assumed to be constant at steady state. That means whatever entering in the reactor is leaving the reactor after spending exactly the amount of time tau, that is fixed by capital V by V, volume by volumetric flow rate. But in practice that is not going to happen. V by V is tau is okay, but this tau is not same or will not be same for all the molecules entering the reactor and leaving the reactor. So this residence time concept which we have seen, or space time, we called it V by V in mixed flow or plug flow, that is fixed by capital V and V, and it is assumed that whatever enters the reactor it spends exactly the time equal to tau. It is constant, but it will not be so. Why? We will see. So far we have treated two flow systems, plug flow and mixed flow patterns we have studied. These can give very different behavior in terms of size or distribution of the products. We like these flow patterns, and in most cases we try to design the equipments to approach one or other, because one or other often is optimum no matter what we are designing for. These two patterns are simple to treat, but real equipment always deviates from ideals, and how to account for this. Okay, so the two patterns we are talking about are ideal models, and now we want to check real equipment will not behave this, there will be deviation from these ideals, and what kind of deviations will be there and how to deal with it, that we will see. So overall it is somewhat interrelated factors make up the contacting or flow pattern. So these things are RTD, or residence time distribution of the material which is flowing through the vessel. That means now we are looking at the micro level. So whatever is entering in the reactor may stay for shorter time than tau or for longer time than tau, and there will be some distribution. So what is that? That we will see. The state of aggregation of flowing material, that is tendency to come together, form a group, tendency to clump, a group of molecules will live together. So once the group of molecules is formed and it is living together, we don't know, a fresh new molecule has grouped with molecules of more age or which have arrived in the reactor earlier than that. So then there will be mismatch and there will be problem. They will not spend exactly same amount of time in the reactor. So space time is not same. And earliness and lateness of mixing of material in the vessel. So earliness of mixing means if you are feeding say two reactants at the entrance, so they may mix together very early, so that is earliness of mixing, or these may get mixed at a later stage or sometimes at the end, so that is lateness of mixing, and mostly it will be in between in real practice. So three factors, that is residence time distribution, state of aggregation, and earliness and the lateness of mixing, this we have to consider while dealing with the problems of non-ideal reactors. So non-ideal flow patterns, so you can see here, so this is entering and leaving, so a kind of channel is formed and through this these are moving, but here you can see some molecules may get stuck or accumulated in this region, and this region we call stagnant region. Okay, so here the reaction mass or the molecules which, or the fluid you can say as a whole, which is there in this stagnant region will spend much more time than the fixed time tau, which is fixed by v by v. Now here through this channel quickly, as soon as enter, some molecules may leave earlier also. So there is a possibility of the fraction of fluid flowing through having spent less time than space time and also having spent more time than the space time. Our space time is fixed in terms of ideal reactors. It is designed for achieving particular conversion. So if some fraction, say 20%, is leaving early, that means fractional conversion will be reduced, will decrease. And at the same time, some fraction, say let us say 20-25%, is spending more time. So spending more time means when they have spent time equal to tau, it is already complete conversion. But still after getting completely converted, they have no business to stay in the reactor but occupying the space, not allowing the fresh unconverted feed entering the reactor. So both the effects, whether it spends less time or more time, it is a disadvantage to this, and this is one kind of non-ideality related to residence time distribution. Then here you can see there is a mixing and it is entering, and here itself immediately this may find some route and escape, that is possible, and this is called short circuiting, spending much less time than tau. Here we have pack bed and counter current operation. So here channelings, especially it is serious in counter current two phase operation. So this liquid is sprayed and gas is coming out, and here you can see these channels are formed, and through this channel means easy path. They will follow the easy path and come out of the reactor, spending time much less than tau. So that is a disadvantage. So channeling This has to be taken into account. And all these phenomena are random phenomena. Their movement of these molecules is random. So whatever is happening this channel, we cannot really quantify it exactly. So no perfect models are available which will consider all kinds of non-ideality and give you the result exactly matching to the real reactors. It is not possible. Some approximate non-reactor modeling is possible, and that we will see, but that too not in detail, just as an introduction. So this channeling kind of here, extreme short circuiting or bypassing. So extreme short circuiting, here short circuiting, as soon as it enters it commit, immediately find some easy path and comes out of the reactor, or in two-phase system it may bypass the another reactant. So both cases are possible. So residence time distribution, deviation from two ideal flow patterns, that is mixed flow and plug flow, can be caused by channeling of fluid, recycling of fluid, or creation of stagnant regions that we have seen. In all types of process equipment such as heat exchangers, pack column, reactors, this type of flow should be avoided since it always lowers the performance of unit. So we have to minimize the channeling, minimize short circuiting and so on, but you cannot avoid this. So we have to try to avoid it, but it is not always possible. So there will be, it will be lowering the performance of the unit. If we know precisely what is happening within the vessel, thus we have to, so if we know precisely what is happening within the vessel, exactly what is happening, and which we, this is not easy, which is not, you can say, possible to some extent, but we cannot really predict how it will behave, what will happen within the vessel in terms of flow pattern. Thus, if we have a complete velocity distribution map for the fluid vessel, then we should in principle be able to predict the behavior of the vessel as a reactor. For this, we should know complete velocity distribution map, and this is not easy. So you can say it is believed that unfortunately this approach is impractical. Okay, so this velocity distribution is, it's a random phenomena. How many, um, it will not be reproducible, it will not behave in the same manner. So and then for every changing, the profile or velocity distribution will be changing continuously, and for that, solve that model for continuously changing velocity distribution map, even with the computer age, or we have online computations, this is still considered to be impractical approach. So in many cases we do not need to know very much, simply how long individual molecules stay in the vessel, or more precisely the distribution of residence time of the fluid. So in most of the cases we need not know the velocity distribution, only the information on residence time distribution is sufficient to get a reasonably good non-ideal reactor model. This information can be determined easily and directly by widely used methods of inquiry, or that we call stimulus response experiments. So we give some input, some add some fluid, give pulse input or step input, then there can be sinusoidal input, random input, and we note the response in that experiment. And most of the time these are non-reactive fluids which we add, these are called tracers. So here we will deal with large part of residence time distribution approach to the non-ideal flow, and we show when it may be legitimately used, how to use it, and when it is not applicable and what alternatives we have to go for when it is not applicable. For most of the times it can be used easily. So in developing the language of non-ideal flow for the treatment of non-ideal flow, exit age distribution, will only consider steady state flow here, steady state flow without reaction, no reaction, so non-reacting tracers we are using, and no density change, and there is a single fluid through the vessel in order to understand the concept of residence time distribution, and then it can be applied to non-ideal reactor design. Then there is a second thing, that is state of aggregation. So here we have two extremes of aggregation coming to. One is concept of microfluid and then macrofluid. So microfluid here mostly gases and not very viscous liquids, means water like fluids you can say. Here the individual molecules are free to move and intermix. Individual molecules, there is a movement at molecular level. For non-coalescing droplets, solid particles and highly viscous fluids, there is a tendency of molecules coming together or grouped together in aggregates or packets. They form the groups and then move in the groups. Flowing material is in some particular state of aggregation depending on its nature. That means whether it is viscous or non-viscous. So non-viscous, water-like mostly, it will be close to microfluid state, and viscous or solid particles, that will be considered as macrofluids. Single phase systems lie somewhere between these two extremes. So it is neither completely macrofluid or microfluid. So it is in between. The behavior is in between. For two phase systems, here macrofluid and microfluid behavior example. Here we have sparge reactor. So here is at the bottom there is a distributor plate. There are fine holes in this distributor plate. Gas is flown through and then fine bubbles rise from these openings, and they rise, come at this surface, and then bubbles are broken. These bubbles are different in size, of course. Some bubbles will coalesce to form large bubbles. So this kind of behavior is there, and liquid is maintained here. So bubbles are formed and bubbles may coalesce. So gas is a macrofluid here, macrofluid, and liquid is a microfluid. So in microfluid, mostly the ideal behavior which we have assumed, that will be followed, but for macrofluid we have to apply non-ideal reactor models involving exit age distribution studies. Second example is spray tower reactor. Okay, so here gas is supplied from the bottom, this is counter current, leaving from the top. Liquid is sprayed, liquid comes down here and it is taken out from the bottom. So this liquid is sprayed, this is spray, so there are liquid droplets, and this is continuous gas. So here the situation is reverse. So liquid droplets, so liquid is a macro fluid here and the gas is microfluid. Stream of solids in gas solid reactors, most of the fluidized reactors, fluidized bed reactors, we have to consider this fluid flowing. Solids, when they are fluidized, they behave like a fluid, so it is a fluid. It is macrofluid most always. But for gas reacting with liquid, either phase can be micro or macro. This we have seen two examples, depending on contacting schemes to be used. Third part is earliness or lateness of mixing. The fluid elements of single flowing stream can mix with each other either early or late in their flow through the vessel. So here it is flowing, and this stream can mix with each other here within the stream itself. Lots of mixing takes place here near the entrance, that is early mixing, and later on you have flat velocity profile here. So lot of mixing of young and old fluids takes place near the entrance. Uniform mixing, same along the whole vessel. So throughout the vessel it is uniform mixing. And third possibility is of late mixing. So at the exit or near the exit there will be well mixed region. Okay. So, and this we cannot guarantee how it will behave. So we have to visualize, and as based on whether it is close to early mixing or late mixing, we have to finally, models are developed, and compare your experimental data with the models, and that will tell you in which region you are operating, or whether there is earliness of mixing or lateness of mixing. Okay, then here we have two streams A and B, well mixed at entry so that A and B have lots of time for the reaction. So to react they should mix together thoroughly. So this mixing, if it is at early near the entrance, then we have sufficient time for the reaction to take place. A and B separate parallel flows, so A and B are not mixed together and therefore unable to react, and mixing only occurs when they leave this, because only single exit point is there. Mixing only occurs at the exit, leaving no time for the reaction. So this we will prefer. Usually this factor has a little effect on overall behavior for single fluid flowing. However, for the system with two entering reactant streams, it is extremely important. Then role of residence time, state of aggregation, earliness or lateness of mixing, that 3 points we have studied. So their role in determining the reactor behavior. In some situations, one of these three factors can be ignored, and in some cases it cannot be. It all have to be considered, and all are crucial. Often much depends on the time for reaction. So this T bar Rx, time for reaction, time for mixing, T bar mixing, and time for stay in the vessel, how much time they spend exactly in the vessel. Okay, so time of reaction, time of mixing, and the time for stay, these three parameters we have to look into. Now how to model it mathematically. So E, this concept of E exit age, the exit age distribution or residence time distribution. So we have seen it is evident that the elements of fluid taking different routes through the reactor, that may take different lengths of time. Okay, so the individual elements of the fluid, you can divide that into percentage distributions, will take different lengths of time, spend different times to pass through the vessel. The distribution of these times for the stream of fluid leaving the vessel is called exit age distribution or the residence time distribution. So residence time means how much time they reside, they stay in the reactor, that is residence time. And there is distribution of residence time, some percent will stay if tau fixed by V and small v, volume by volumetric flow rate, is say 10 minutes. So there will be distribution, say 10%, 15%, 5% like that. Let's say 10% will spend just 2 minutes, then another 20% 5 minutes, another 20% 7 minutes, and so on. So this distribution we have to model, and we can really find out exit age distribution with tracer techniques. So this is called exit age distribution or residence time distribution, and this E term exit age has the units of time inverse. So this is normalized. So normal distribution is 0 to infinity e dt, and that will be 1. So if you plot this, area under the curve will give you this integral 0 to infinity, and that is 1. So it is normalized distribution. So 0 to infinity e dt is 1. So you can see here exit age E unit is time inverse, this T is time. So time inverse into time dimensionless, and this normalized distribution you will have, which is giving area under the curve as unity 1. Okay, so you can see here. So you will get, say, let us say this is total T, some residence time tau is fixed, and this is the distribution. Okay, so this exit age, so percentage you can split this and find out. Now this T1, in between we take some instance T1. So these regions, two regions separated by this is time less than T1 and this is time greater than T1. So time greater than T1 means fraction of exit stream older than T1, that is spending more time than T1, and this will be spending much time, less time than T1. So you can split this 0 to infinity as 0 to T1 and T1 to infinity. Okay, this curve continues. So we should note the one restriction on E curve, that the fluid only enters and leaves the vessel one time. It is entering at once and leaving at once. That means there is no flow or diffusion or upflow eddies at the entrance or at the vessel exit. This is entering at once and leaving at once, and we call this closed boundary conditions. So this is valid for the closed boundary conditions only. And when the elements of fluid cross at the vessel boundaries more than one time, then we call this closed boundary condition. So we'll be dealing, these are open vessel boundary condition. So we will mostly deal with closed boundary conditions. Here we are considering that fluid enters at once and leave only once. Okay. So here, with this representation of fraction of exit stream of age between t and t plus dt. So you take some time t here and some small element dt. So between t and t plus dt is e dt, is e times dt, and this we integrate over the complete range from 0 to infinity. So fraction younger than t1 is 0 to t1 e dt, that I have explained to you already, and the fraction of material older than t1, okay, is this particular portion shown by shaded area. So this total area is 1. So this, which is younger one, will be 1 minus this. So in terms of mathematical representation, we have written from t1 to infinity, that shaded area will be 1 minus integral 0 to t1 e dt. The E curve distribution needed to account for non-ideal flow. So E curve you can plot or determine for a particular case. So How to find this exit age distribution? So there are methods which are non-chemical methods, non-reactive. Simplest and most direct way of finding E curves uses a physical or non-reactive tracer. For special purpose, however, we may want to use the reactive tracer. In some cases, reactive tracer also be used. We will study this non-reactive tracer techniques. Here, we will deal with non-reactive tracer, and for all sort of experiments, it can be used. So this particular figure shows 4 different kinds of stimulus input. So here pulse input is given. So what you get at exit here, concentrations, we measure it in terms of C pulse as a function of time. If we give step input, then C step, concentration for step input as a function of time. And then there is periodic input, sinusoidal, or you can give random input. But these two are possible but not used widely. Simple to use and give the best results are pulse and step. So we'll concentrate only on pulse and step. Experiments are easier to interpret. The periodic and random are harder. So we'll only consider here pulse and step experiments and or non-reactive tracer only. Pulse experiment. So if you want to find out E curve for a vessel of volume V in meter cube, through which the fluid is flowing with small v volumetric flow rate meter cube per second. So this V by small v is time. So it can be mean residence time or residence time. For this, instantaneously introduce m units of tracer, this m unit of tracer, either in kgs or in terms of moles, gram moles or kg moles, whatever, into a fluid entering the vessel. So introduce the tracer of m units and record the concentration and time data of the tracer leaving the vessel. So if you inject the tracer at entrance, it will, after some time, it will come out, and the distribution will be recorded in terms of concentration of the tracer leaving the vessel. So for this, in the laboratories, some color indicator is used. So you introduce that at entrance, and you can see this through the transparent tube, and then it comes out, and once it starts coming out of the reactor, periodically you take the readings till it disappears. And at different times the concentration, initially it will be low, then it will pick up, then some maxima will be reached, and then it will come down, and finally it vanishes. So when we use pulse input, we call it C pulse curve. And from the material balance for the vessel, this M is in kgs or moles, so we are considering here in kgs, divided by small v meter cube per second, so kg second per meter cube. Area under the curve A. So here m units are introduced. Pulse means within, it is assumed that within no time, instantaneously introduce m units of tracer, and then this is v and small v. So residence time with respect to this fixed, that is space time, is v by v, and you will find that all the entities or molecules entering the reactor are not spending exactly same time. From this curve you can see C pulse concentration in kg per meter cube or kg mole per meter cube, moles per meter cube, any unit you can take. This is time in seconds or in minutes. This is the concentration record for tracer after giving the pulse input. So this is recorded, this plot, and area under the curve will be y is c. So integral y dt 0 to infinity. So y is c. Integral 0 to infinity c dt will be area under the curve, and this c dt is nothing but summation of ci delta ti. So here area integral 0 to infinity c dt, and that if you have this small delta t, small element of time, if you measure the concentration, so sigma ci delta ti will approximately give you this integral. Mean residence time t bar, this can be determined by integral t into c dt by c dt. So we are averaging with respect to concentration. So t into c dt by integral c dt, that is equivalent to sigma ti ci delta ti by sigma ti delta ti. So here area under the curve for c pulse curve is integral 0 to infinity c dt, and that is same as summation of ci delta ti, and this is given by m by v. So this area, if you find out after the experimentation, this should match with m by v. Okay, that we'll see when we solve the problems. Mean t bar will be given by integral 0 to infinity t into c dt by integral c dt. Same sigma for all i's, say I is equal to 1 to n, ti ci delta ti divided by sigma ci delta ti, and that is same as v by small v. Okay, so pulse input, you introduce m units, that is either in kgs or kg moles at once, and record the exit concentrations of the tracer. This curve, if you plot c pulse as a function of time, this is some kind of curve you may get, and this area will be m by v, you will get this area, and this is in somewhere t bar. So this actually you can find out from the distribution. So E curve from the C curve is simply what we are doing, change the concentration scale such that the area under the curve is unity. Now this area is m by v, and from this C curve we obtained what is called as E curve, exit edge distribution curve. We know in exit edge distribution it is normalized distribution or normal distribution. Area under the curve is 1. So this area we have to convert as 1. So this area is m by v. So this, if I multiply by v by m, that will be normalized. Okay. So simply divide the concentration reading by m by v or multiply by v by m. That will give you E curve. We have another definition of residence time distribution function. Time is measured in terms of mean residence time theta, which is t by t bar. Okay, t by t bar, and this theta in this case it is dimensionless. Okay, t bar is the mean value of this. This we have seen here, mean of C pulse curve t bar, and mean residence time theta will be t by t bar. So t is that actual time, mean residence time is dimensionless, it will be a fraction always. So E theta, if I define, it will be t bar into E, and that is V by V. E is C pulse by M by V, and that will finally VV cancels out, and you get V by M into C pulse is E theta. Okay, so E and T bar E, this plot E T, here is the representation of T bar E, area under the curve is 1. So E curve you can transform into E theta curve. So for that simply E theta is T bar into E. So multiply by T bar and E, and here you will plot theta on x-axis T by T bar. Okay, and at T is equal to T bar E, this level, this will be 1 simply. So E theta curve. But mostly we'll be dealing with E curve, will not be dealing with E theta curve, but you should know. So when this dimensionless time is used, then we use E theta, which is E into T bar. Okay, what is the unit of E? Exit time inverse, and this is time, so this is also dimensionless, and the area under the curve is again 1. So it's a just a representation changes. The relationship between C pulse and E curves only holds exactly for the vessels with close boundary conditions. Again, this you have to keep in mind. Close boundary conditions means fluid entering at once and leaving at once. Another technique is a step experiment. A step change in process control you must have studied. Pulse input also you have studied. These are similar definitions. So if you consider V, small v, volumetric rate of fluid flowing through a vessel of volume V, at time t is equal to 0, switch from ordinary fluid to fluid with stressor. Some fluid is flowing and then you introduce the stressor of the concentration C max, that is in kgs or mole per meter cube, either kg per meter cube or mole per meter cube. So your step input is introduced at time t equal to 0. At time t less than 0, time t equal to 0 means we introduce the tracer. That means you can say at the start of experiment. T less than 0, no tracer means before the start of experiment. And t greater than 0, just you introduce the tracer here. So step input at time t is equal to 0. So t less than 0, you have no tracer. At t is equal to 0, you introduce the tracer, and then you measure these concentrations. So output, you will get this kind of curve. So first it will very slowly come out and then it will pick up, then this rate will still increase, and finally you will get this particular concentration. So this is the output reading as a function of time, and here you have some C max. The measure outlet, you have to measure the outlet tracer concentration C step versus T. Okay, so here this you have introduced in kgs per second, or m dot is kgs per second, C max is kg per meter cube or mole per meter cube, that we will see now. So this is the output reading. Okay, and before that this region is representing old fluid and this region represents the new fluid. So we'll see what is this. A material balance relates the different measured quantities of the output of a step input. C max is m dot by v. M dot is kg per second, kg per second, and volumetric rate is meter cube per second. So second will cancel out, and this C max will have the units of kg per meter cube. So we have seen here this in kg per meter cube. This can be used in moles per meter cube also. So if you use in moles per meter cube, this concentration term will be in moles per cube. Here concentration is expressed as kg per meter cube. Shaded area here. This shaded area is C max into T bar. Mean distribution. Okay. So some mean value here if you find out, and that, so it is not exactly in proportion. So don't try to match that area with the terms defined here. C max is m dot by v, T bar is v by v. So m dot by v is v by v, so it becomes v square and units will be kg second per meter cube. T bar, this mean value of time, is defined t into d step by d step. So you are averaging this time. So 0 to C max t into dc step divided by 0 to C max dc step. This denominator integral will be C step and C max to 0, so C max, and this 1 upon C max I have written outside the integral, and this integral I have written here 0 to C max t into dc step. Okay, so this is the definition of T bar, mean time. So here m dot is in kgs per second, flow rate of the tracer entering the fluid. Okay, in pulse input, what we have introduced, m units of tracer in kgs. Here at some rate m dot in kgs per unit time, here kgs per second. So here you can see this area is T bar into C max. That means this T bar, if you take this C max on this side, so this becomes T bar into C max, that is equivalent to this by mass balance calculation, and is represented by integral 0 to C max T into dc step. So integral y dx, on x-axis time and on y-axis C step. You can see y-axis C step and here T. So integral y dx, you can say this is the plot, and this particular area will represent you T bar into C max. Okay. Then dimensionless form of C step curve is called F curve. Earlier we have seen this C curve to E curve for pulse unit, pulse input. For step input, you get from C curve, you get F curve. So here C step will be multiplied by V by m dot or divided by m dot by V. Okay. So this m dot by V. So C step divided by m dot by V, same unit, so it becomes dimensionless. So F is equal to V by m dot into C step. So this area under the curve will be now T bar into S, and this is from 0 to 1. Okay. So it is found by having a tracer concentration rise from here, tracer concentration from 0 to C max, and here tracer concentration at the output rising from 0 to 1, dimensionless form. So from C pulse you get E curve, and from C step we get F curve. Relationship between F curve and E curve. To relate E and F, imagine a steady state flow of white fluid. At time t is equal to 0, switch to some color red and record the rising concentration of red fluid in the exit stream. the F curve at any time t greater than 0, red fluid and only red fluid in the exit stream is younger than the age t. So fraction of red fluid in the exit stream is equal to the fraction of exit stream younger than ht. Okay, so f we have from 0 to t, that is representing the fraction which is younger than ht, edt. Okay, fraction which is younger. So f is integral edt, so derivative df by dt will be e. Okay, df by dt will be e simply. So this is the relationship between e curve and f curve. So here f is plotted, e is plotted. F, you know, this is dimensionless and it has the unit of time inverse. So relationship between e and f curve. So here e curve, this area under the curve is 1 and fraction younger than age t1 is this area and this area will be f1, and this can be found out at the slope at f1. F1 at this slope, if you draw a tangent, so this is the corresponding time. So these are interrelated. So by integrating edt you get f, and by differentiating e you get, so integrate edt to get f. So integrating this from t is equal to 0 to this time, you get f values, and slope dy by dx from at this slope means you are differentiating, so you will get this value. So this is the relationship. So if you have exit edge distribution, you can get this area f representing this, and this complete is 1 here and this is 1 here. The relationship show how stimulus response experiments using either step or pulse input can conveniently give residence time distribution. So you can choose any of these two. And mean flow rate of the fluid in the vessel. So RTD and mean flow rate. We should remember that these relationships only hold for again closed vessel conditions. So entering at once, fluid entering at once, leaving at once. This you have to keep in mind. When this boundary condition is not met, that means this condition for closed vessels is not met, then C pulse and E curves will differ. This figure 11.14, if you look at, it will show the shapes of these curves for different types of flows. So here the properties of E and F curve for various flows, curves drawn in terms of ordinary and dimensionless time units, that is t and theta. Relationship between the curves is given by equation 7 and 8. You refer to 7 and 8. This is plug flow, mixed flow and some arbitrary flow. So here F curve, this area representing t bar. So t bar and this is 1. So t bar into 1 is t bar. E curve is equal to C, this area under the curve of width tending to 0. So this will go to infinity. And E theta will be similar, transformation of E only in terms of theta. Okay. So here we have E and T plot. Here we have E theta and theta plot. So both are same representations. For mixed flow, you will get this kind of shape. Okay, f curve and e curve. So f curve is like this. So f is integral e dt. So differentiate this, you will get this kind of curve. This is just same curve, representation is different. It is in the dimensionless form, and here you are having the dimensions of t and t inverse, time inverse. And for some arbitrary flow, this kind of situation will arise. So this is when the closed vessel boundary conditions are not met. At any time, these curves are related as follows. E is equal to V by m dot into C pulse. F V by m dot into C step. E is df by dt, that is E curve you will be getting if you have F curve differentiating with respect to F. T bar is V by V. Theta, this dimensionless time, mean residence time, T by T bar. Then we have theta bar for E, that will be 1. E theta is T bar into E. Theta, E theta and F. So this theta, E theta, this T into T inverse, this is dimensionless, and this is also dimensionless. And E will have the unit of time inverse. So this you have to keep in mind. Okay. E is V by m dot into C pulse. F V by m dot into C step, because from pulse input we get the E curve, C curve is transferred into E curve, and from C step you get F curve. So we will stop here today, and we'll continue with the further topic in our next lecture.